You know, this is never an easy or pleasant task, making a managerial change. And in my experience, you know, every time you go through one of these, it is a negative reflection on your entire baseball operations department, you know, starting with me and going all the way down the system to our scouts, player development. Obviously, we didn't do as good a job as we could have, or we wouldn't be in a position having to change managers. Nobody believes that the reason we have the record we have is that it was somehow Dave Tremblay's fault, or that, you know, making this change is going to magically solve all the problems and issues we have. But we did reach a point where we thought this was the appropriate thing to do. If you really want to look for reasons why we have the record we have, I think it's a function of several things. Like any poor season, generally it's more than one thing. We brought in several players this offseason really just to prevent this kind of calamity, and certainly we're not getting production from a couple of those guys to this point. The second issue is the entire back end of our bullpen has been on the DL for almost the entire season, and I'm not just talking about 2 or 3 guys, I'm talking about 5 guys, which has had an impact. Our offense is last in the league in runs scored. We are going to play 72 of 162 games against the most prolific offenses in the game, and we can't afford to have the last run-scoring team in the American League. Our production with runners in scoring position, you know, is frankly abysmal. We are last among all 30 clubs in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and RBIs. And, you know, that it's difficult to run the entire table on that, where we're last in all those categories. Maybe most disappointing of all to me, and most distressing, is the fact we've had some of our young players go backwards from where they were a year before. They're important to us, and that certainly hasn't helped things. And also, we're still, in my estimation, too many unforced errors, different aspects of the game, whether it be base running or where we're throwing the ball. We're just not where we need to be at this point. So what you're hoping to accomplish when you make a change like this is you're hoping to ignite a spark. Give everybody a clean slate, you know, sort of get out of that drumbeat of what's going to happen day to day, and just give everybody a fresh start. It's a goofy business. It's a crazy game. I spent my entire life in it. You don't have to look back any further than Colorado a year ago that was 18-28. They change managers, and the next thing you know, they're in the postseason. It's a goofy business. And we just felt we had to give our team that opportunity to get a fresh start. To my right is Juan Samuel. We're very fortunate to have somebody as accomplished as Juan is in our system. He's an all-star player a few times over, has managed in the minor leagues, has been a major league coach now, is familiar with our personnel, and there was no question in all of our minds that Juan was our best choice to take over the fold. I told Juan, just like I mentioned to Dave Tremblay when I came here 3 years ago, look, I don't know whether this is going to be a matter of days. I don't know whether it's going to be a matter of weeks. I don't know whether it's going to be a matter of months. Dave Tremblay managed 3 years. You know, you just don't know. But we will be talking to other people, you know, while Juan manages. And how that goes is going to be somewhat dependent upon, obviously, how the team goes and how other factors are. But I'm very delighted and excited to have somebody that commands the respect the players that Juan does, and is from my observations, not somebody that will go lightly on those mistakes that we don't need to be making. So I'm going to, with that, turn it over to Juan and let him introduce himself to you as the official manager.
Well, it's very unfortunate that we have to meet under these circumstances of Dave Tremblay getting let go. But we all know, as Andy mentioned, the manager can only do so much. At some point, the player have to be accountable. And believe me, those guys do not want to be playing the way they're playing. It's going to be a matter of us trying to push these guys, get the most out of these guys, cut down on the mistakes that we are making, running the bases right, going back to the fundamentals of baseball. And that's something that I took proud on as a player, and it's something that we constantly work on spin training for 4 years that I've been here now. But for some reason, guys don't seems to be paying a whole lot of attention to the little details that mean a lot on the game, and we are going to be addressing those issues, and these guys know that I will command that of them. Be consistent, be a professional, run hard at all time, and we all expect those kind of things. Like I said, we did not want to meet on these circumstances, but it was front office feel that the change needs to be made, and hopefully I could inject some sparks into these players. As they all know me very well, know the kind of guy that I am. I relate to those guys very well. I consider myself one of those guys. So it's an opportunity that I'm not taking lightly. And opportunity comes in all different ways, and this is a way that opportunity had come to me, and I have full intention to take advantage of this opportunity and see how far we could push this guy and turn the page. We're going to turn the page. We're going to let these guys know, hey, the season starts today. The past is the past. What we do from now on is what we're going to be judged on, and I have full intention to push this guy as hard as I can, push him to the limit.
Please raise your hand if you have a question.
What kind of timetable do you have on finding a permanent solution?
Well, you don't know. I mean, the process starts today. I don't think it's appropriate to engage in that process, while you had a manager. When you announce an interim, that's something different. You can go through that process, but that process is today, and you don't really know how it's going to start. If I just go back to our experience last time with Dave, we were in talks with Joe Girardi for a while, and then the team played better, and Joe went a different direction, and then things dissipated, and then he ended up managing 3 years here. So you really don't have a timetable, because there's so many variables that you can't possibly know yet, because we really haven't started the serious vetting part yet, and we just didn't think that was appropriate while we had a sitting manager.
Kevin.
Andy, you spoke about how the firing of a manager reflects on the organization. How do you feel it affects your rebuilding plan? Is it
Kevin, I have no doubt whatsoever that not only are we on the right path, we are on the only path that we can take if we are serious about ever being a contender in the American League East. I wish it was easier. But going the way we were going about it wasn't going to get it done. We needed to skew young. We made a significant investment in this franchise in ways that are meaningful, whether it's international scouting, amateur scouting, professional scouting, new spring training facilities, new facilities in the Dominican Republic. These things need to be done, and I wish it would come faster. I truly do, but there's not one scintilla of doubt in my mind that this is what we have to do. We got to get a core of good young players. I'm sorry that some of them are taking a step back now. I wish they would be, continue in a perfect linear path, but that's not our sport. We just have to deal with those things that we have to deal with. But while we're doing things we need to do, it's not showing up in the wins and losses. We're going to do everything we can to try to make that happen, and Juan is one of those things right now.